The gentleman from Florida, Mr. DeSantis, for 5 minutes.
General Lynch, the team that recommended not to prosecute Secretary Clinton, did that include the Deputy Attorney General?
Yes, Congressman, the day-to-day.
Did it include the Associate Attorney General?
The day-to-day team that reviewed the matter did not, although the matter was reviewed
about the Office of Legal Counsel or Office of Legal Policy?
I just want to conclude with you asked about the Deputy Attorney General, and I wanted to provide that information for you.
He was not, though, on the day-to-day is what I'm just trying to get through the people because I have limited time. So he was not, correct?
She was part of the chain of review, but she was not on the day-to-day team.
What about the head of the National Security Division?
The NSD was the component that was leading this, and so the head of the NSD or the National Security Division would have been in the chain of review.
What about the head of the Criminal Division?
No, I will tell you that the team was led by NSD,
okay,
and therefore its head. You asked about the Deputy Attorney General. That's Sally Yates. She was in the chain of review, but not the day-to-day team. And the FBI Director, I don't know the intermediate level supervisors there who would have been involved.
Good. Director Comey said that the Department of Justice has grave concerns about whether it's appropriate to prosecute somebody under a gross negligence standard. Do you, as the Attorney General, have grave concerns about prosecuting, forget about this case, anybody under a gross negligence standard?
Our concerns are always whether or not we have the facts to support
I'm not asking about the facts.
That is a concern
Assume
in
you
every
have the
case.
facts. Forget about this case. Do you have grave concerns about bringing a prosecution under gross negligence?
I would have to have the factual record before me.
Did any of the people who were on the team that advised you, did they tell Director Comey that they had grave concerns about bringing a case under a gross negligence standard?
Congressman, I wasn't privy to those
conversations. You guys prosecute environmental crimes under a negligence standard, correct?
We do prosecute a number of crimes.
Those are constitutional prosecutions, right?
We do prosecute a number of crimes under different standards. States across the country prosecute
under, for homicide. You can have a negligent homicide. And so Director Comey said, well, look, people say you can do this, but how come there haven't been cases brought recently? How many cases has the Justice Department declined to bring under 18 U.S.C. Section 793F because they were concerned about the gross negligence standard?
Yeah, I don't have the answer to that.
Do you know if there's been any that have been declined over the last 10, 20 years?
I don't have the answer to that.
I'd like to get that because I think that that's important because you can say people haven't been prosecuted under it, but many people in the civilian sector have actually met their responsibilities by and large and not been extremely careless with it. I'm a little bit disappointed with how you've approached this. I think that given all the circumstances that are involved in this case, and again, I'm just talking about the appearance of what the average Joe sees. You yourself were appointed by President Clinton in the 90s to be U.S. Attorney. Your current boss has said on more than one occasion before Comey's recommendation that Hillary Clinton having top secret information on her email did not damage national security. You, of course, met with Bill Clinton privately just days before the decision was announced not to go ahead with this prosecution. Of course, your current boss has endorsed Secretary Clinton to be the next president of the United States. And in fact, they had a campaign trip scheduled, I believe, the afternoon that Director Comey announced his findings. And so with all of that surrounding, there's a lot of people that have concerns about whether this decision was made with proper integrity. And basically what you've told us today is, I'm not going to talk about it. I'm not going to justify it. It is what it is. And that falls very short, I think, of what a lot of people want. And I've noticed that you have been willing to opine on other instances when it suits you. I mean, for example, in Orlando in June, you said the most effective response to terror is compassion, it's unity, and it's love. You were interjecting on that. You said after the San Bernardino attack that your greatest fear was the rise of anti-Muslim rhetoric. That was something that you volunteered. You discussed the possibility in front of the Senate Judiciary Committee in March of bringing civil actions against people who denied climate change. And of course, you also discussed taking potential criminal action against those engaged in anti-Muslim speech. And so I want to ask you whether your hear no evil, see no evil performance today, if somebody honestly just looks at what happened here and thinks a junior officer in the Navy or a mid-level official in the federal bureaucracy, and they treated classified information like this, that they would have been held accountable, and they look to see all these circumstances And then here you are to justify as the head of the department, and you're offering them nothing. Do you understand that there's going to be a lot of people that are not satisfied with that?
Well, Congressman, as I've indicated, I understand that people are often frustrated when they don't either understand or have clarity into the reasons behind a decision. In this matter, there have been a number of times when unprecedented clarity has been provided. In terms of the FBI director's statements, for example, that was unusual clarity into his thinking and what led up to his recommendation.
It's also unusual for the Justice Department to be investigating somebody who's endorsed by the sitting president, though. I believe that's completely unprecedented. So there's a lot of things. The unprecedented nature of this can cut both ways. I'm out of time. I do appreciate your time, but I'm definitely not satisfied with your answers.